Russia and Ukraine have been at loggerheads. On Friday, even before the UN Security Council could start its proceedings to discuss peace and security in Ukraine, a dramatic showdown happened. When Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba called for a moment of silence to honor the victims of the aggression and the members rose from their seats, Russian Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia interjected. Take a look at how it all played out.
Любая жизнь бесценна. Поэтому мы встаем в память о всех этих людях.
On this tragic day, when we mourn lives and destinies broken by Russia, I kindly ask everyone to observe a minute of silence in memory of the victims of the aggression. I thank you, Mr. President.
The representative of the Russian Federation has asked for the floor to make a statement.
Mr. President, we are getting up on our feet to honor the memory of all victims of what has happened in Ukraine starting in 2014. All of those who perished, all lives are priceless, and that is why we are rising to honor the memory of them all.
I thank the representative for this.
The Russian ambassador to the United Nations also objected to Ukraine's foreign minister being permitted to address the meeting ahead of the council members on the speakers list. The objection was made to Malta's foreign minister, as Malta currently holds the presidency of the council.
Once again,
Mr. President, I would like to just say a few words regarding a point of order. We would like to ask you to please clarify what is the basis you are proposing to give the floor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine and to give them the floor before the members of the Council speak. We have nothing against his statement, but the Council has its rules, which were established long before Malta became President of the UN Security Council.
At the Council meeting, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that despite the Security Council holding more than 40 debates on the conflict, the guns are talking now.
The World Program estimates that nearly 40% of Ukrainians are unable to afford or access enough food. Life is a living hell for the people of Ukraine. An estimated 17.6 million people, nearly 40% of the population of Ukraine, require humanitarian assistance and protection. The crisis has erased 30% of pre-war jobs. The World Food Programme estimates that nearly 40% of Ukrainians are unable to afford or access enough food. And the war has sparked a displacement crisis not seen in Europe in decades. More than 8 million Ukrainian refugees have been recorded across Europe, in addition to an estimated 5.4 million who have been internally displaced.
Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has warned the UN Security Council that it should not be fooled by calls for a temporary or unconditional ceasefire in Ukraine. Blinken's warning came just hours after China called for a comprehensive ceasefire as part of a 12-point plan on the war.
Council members should not be fooled by calls for a temporary or unconditional ceasefire. Russia will use any pause in fighting to consolidate control over the territory it's illegally seized and replenish its forces for further attacks. That's what happened when Russia's first assault on Ukraine froze in 2015. Look at what followed. And members of this council should not fall into the false equivalency of calling on both sides to stop fighting or calling on other nations to stop supporting Ukraine in the name of peace.
Earlier on Thursday, the United Nations General Assembly passed a non-binding resolution condemning the Russian invasion. 141 countries voiced support for the resolution, while 7 opposed it and 32 abstained.
The result of the vote is as follows.
And after the UN Security Council meeting, WION's correspondent Susan Tehrani asked the Spain's foreign minister on his expectations from India, which has assumed presidency of G20 this year.
My name is Susan Tehrani from WION. You'll be traveling to New Delhi to take part in the G20 Foreign Ministers Summit. My question is, while you'll have many of your colleagues and Western neighbors attending as well, Mr. Lavrov will also be there as a member of G20. Do you see an opportunity, perhaps, for a breakthrough and also moving forward, perhaps not during the meeting, but under India's presidency for G20, do you think that some kind of negotiation or breakthrough could be made in the Ukraine conflict? Thank you.
Thank you. G20 is an excellent forum to talk and to take common decisions on global issues. And of course, world peace is the most essential one. So it will be once again an excellent opportunity for all of us to defend the principles of the United Nations Charter, to defend the United Nations and to show our total opposition to an illegal war of aggression. I'm sure that we will do it.